Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love, American made.
Listen up, Autothoughts and Decepticlowns. You are listening to Prime Cuts, a non-linear history of the Transformers franchise on television. I'm one of your hosts, Nero.
And I'm your other host, Audrey.
And today, we have some episodes to talk about today. We are delving deeper into the Unicron battles, and we're meeting all sorts of funny new guys.
It's kind of meet the new boss, same as the old boss situation here.
Yeah, Optimus Prime, who's acting very normal, and he doesn't look different at all. He's not basically a feral chimp with a machete. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, they definitely know. They definitely can recognize their leader as a sentient person.
To be fair, the Autobots cotton on pretty quick. The Decepticons...
Yeah, they do.
Take a little bit more time. Oh boy, we should just get into it. We're covering, 42 and 43?
Mm-hmm.
First one in...
No, 43 and 44, sorry.
Yeah, the first one up is in the dub called Puppet.
In the sub, it is Impersonating Monster.
Tomato, really, when you think about it.
I mean, it's just much more literal in the sub.
Yeah, so we kind of start off here with a quick recap about, the return of Optimus Christ and all that sort of thing, just to get everyone caught up about this whole situation.
My favorite part of this is that, and I will talk about this part more in detail, but we get a quick recap, and then it goes to, the Decepticons once we get into it, and Megatron has a line that's like, so he's still alive, and I'm like, well, he's not really still alive. This has not been uninterrupted living, I would say.
Yeah,
it is more that he lives again. He is, as we've discussed, risen.
Yeah, no, he is back to life, Megatron. There is a distinct difference. But yeah, Megatron is just pleased as punch. The Optimus Prime is back. He's just sitting there. He's sitting, I think he's on the deck of the Hydra Cannon here. He's just sort of laughing to himself, and he seems just absolutely he's having a great time. And Cyclonus and Demolisher are standing behind him and just kind of glancing at each other. It's like, why is he so happy about this exactly?
Well, he's like, fantastic, finally, because no one gets to kill Optimus but me. So finally I get to do this, and I will experience closure. Okay, buddy.
Sure. He's like, yeah, no, the first one didn't count. You don't get to sacrifice yourself, Optimus. Only I get to kill you with my own bare hands. And, Demolisher and Cyclonus are just utterly baffled by this. There's Demolisher asks why he's so pleased, and Cyclonus just goes, who cares? As long as he's not yelling at us, it doesn't really matter to me. Sandstorm
MVP, Sandstorm Goat.
Not usually things you would ever say about our boy Cyclonus here. So... No,
this is what I am saying about Sandstorm literally all the time. He's going to become the only character I actually care about.
By the end.
Justice for Sandstorm.
He needs it. He's really the Waspinator of this show. Just nothing but L's all the time. He's gotta get a dub at some point.
Oh, you're right. Oh, Bud.
He's a little bit less pathetic than Waspinator, I feel.
Yeah.
I
don't know, man. I just remembered a series of episodes where within 2 minutes of the screen he was face down in the dirt in helicopter mode.
That happens a lot.
It's pretty pathetic.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not pathetic. He's just less pathetic than Waspinator, which is a generous
It's true.
bar.
He's more unhinged than
Yes.
Waspinator is. I think they're equally pathetic, but Sandstorm simply isn't aware of it.
Yeah, he's a little bit harder to be sympathetic for because he's just so fucking batshit.
Waspinator is well aware of how much his life sucks.
Yes, he is put upon by the universe. So we cut over the Axelon, and everyone is also hyped for Optimus's return there, obviously. Hotshot says, this is a real miracle. No, that was last week. Hotshot, get it together. This is Puppet, not Miracle. Get it right. Mostly,
And
I
everyone
think
is-
he's just very happy that he doesn't have to be in charge anymore.
Yeah. And everyone else is like, yeah, Optimus being lied to his own news. Can we... Or no, sorry. No, that's not what it is. So Jim, the most meta-aware cast member, looks at Optimus and goes, "You're not some kind of fake, are you?"
I watched G1.
2 minutes into this episode.
I watched G1, and I also read the synopsis of this episode, and I know I should be on the lookout for some kind of puppet. In the dub, that is just turned into a joke about Fred asking if the kitchen is finished being remodeled, or maybe that's next episode actually. That's right, it is next episode because that's when they're doing some remodeling on certain things. So yeah, they're just hanging out. They're on the bridge or the deck, the space deck of the Axelon, and basically after everyone has welcomed him back, Optimus immediately turns to Hotshot and says, "So, brought the kids along, huh?"
Yeah. Hey, out of curiosity, why are we doing this outside on the ship?
I assume this is like right after the battle is done, so everyone's out here anyway. I guess.
Hey, guess who wasn't out there during the battle, but is there now? The children.
I guess, like, they came out, they
could have just gone inside. It would have taken as much time to get inside, probably less, than for get the children outside.
Yeah, it really would. I don't know why they didn't just go on to the
Why
bridge.
are they here? Why are all these 12-year-olds spacewalking?
Maybe they wanted to.
Hello?
Maybe they really wanted to, and, you know...
Oh my god, these kids are going to die.
Hoist just can't tell them no. They're just too darn cute. I don't know why Hoist is in charge of them all of a sudden. I just believe that to be true. So
it's because he babysat them that one episode.
Oh, that's right. So right after asking this and Optimus saying, "Well, as long as nothing goes wrong and they stay out of the sort of danger zone, things will be just fine." And then a big scary black hole shows up.
Yeah. We get a really... I don't know how they got away with animating this shot. Do you know the shot I'm talking about? You know the shot I'm talking
Is
about.
it the one where Carlos is getting sucked into the vortex?
No, it's slightly after that, with all the microns circling the Axelon.
Oh... Yeah, I mean, listen, the Axelon's design...
Okay, let's... Yeah, I know, but the microns made it worse. So,
We've discussed how the
yes.
Axelon is a big spacefaring dick and balls.
Yeah, and unfortunately, all the microns circling it look like cum.
Mm-hmm.
They just look like sperm, literally swimming into the ovum that is
And
this
in
black
the
hole.
in the next episode, they shoot into the hole.
Yeah, it's like unbelievable.
What is going on in these two episodes?
I'm really okay, but regardless, black hole opens up.
Yes, Carlos immediately gets sucked into the black hole.
Yeah, I mean, don't worry, he's fine. He's fine, but he's dead.
So a chain,
silver bolt.
Yeah, so a chain of things happen. Blur grabs him, sort of yeets him back towards the deck. Then, I believe Red Alert starts getting sucked in. Then Hotshot grabs him, but then he also, both of them get sucked in, and Optimus has to, physically drag Sideswipe into the ship to stop him from going after them.
Yeah.
He says, "Sideswipe, no, you're too new of a figure to have a recolor. Quit it."
And he's right.
No one would want to buy that piece of shit toy anyway, but they've made so many retools of that fucking thing over the course of the Unicron trilogy. They re-released it 5 times.
Yeah, listen, kids will always buy toys no matter how shit they look. Yeah, so before Hot Rod and Ratchet get fully sucked into the vortex, that is when the microns start getting real. Oh no, it's before the black hole opens up.
Yeah, because they spot it.
Yeah, it's before where they're get really excited, and again they just look like individual sperm circling around. It's just a whole mess of them circling in this phallic thing. Anyway, right, Hot Rod and Ratchet get sucked into the black hole, And I love Interstellar.
Yeah, they get interstellar a little bit. So
They even found a habitable planet.
Habitable might be a stretch.
For them.
Well, yeah, for them, I guess habitable just means can you stand on it? If so, then it's habitable.
And if I imagine, listen, there's cyber trees there, so I imagine that there's probably energon. I'm sure it'd be fine.
Yeah, I have to probably dig pretty deep, but yeah. So we kind of cut, like the ship gets rocked by these waves of energy. Everyone on the bridge gets knocked out. We cut to this dead world filled with like skeletal metal trees, and we kind of see a black and teal evil Optimus Prime clone, like perched on one of these trees, sort of surveying the landscape as Red Alert and Hotshot wake up.
Yeah.
This is...
It cuts... I can't remember what happens. It does cut briefly back over to everyone back in the ship.
Oh yeah, Red Alert turns on like a distress beacon.
Yeah, but like, first of all, how did they all get inside? Second of all, when it gets back to them, they are just like Grand Theft Auto wasted screen.
Yeah, I think so. I think everyone managed to get back into the ship before everything went real tits up. Because you see Optimus dragging Sideswipe into behind the like airlock doors right before the evil space vortex like shocks the ship or whatever. But yeah, I guess that knocked everybody out. So, you know, it's gonna be a while, and unfortunately for our two pals here, the Decepticons are already here. And they apparently got sent here by Thrust, who said, "Hey, there's gonna be some Autobots on this little planet here. Don't ask me how I know that. I just know it. I'm just very smart, and you should trust me because look at me. Look at my trustworthy face."
That's interesting. It's similar there to that in the sub, but it's kind of almost like in the other direction where they all get there and Megatron's like, "Okay, let's go wait for the Autobots," and Starscream's like, "Where's Thrust?" And Megatron's like, "Don't worry about it. He's fine." And Starscream's like, "I don't trust like that anymore.
He had tummy troubles,
but okay.
He had tummy troubles and he couldn't come.
And he's being so brave about it. Shut up, Starscream.
I'm being so brave about it, Megatron. So, this is where Hotshot and Red Alert are kind of surveying their surroundings. Hotshot notices that he does the thing from The Last Jedi where the guy licks the ground and says, "Salt."
Don't put dirt in your mouth, you little freak. What the fuck are you doing?
And Red Alert kind of says, "Yeah, and all these weird dead tree-looking things, these are like metal cyber structures. So this is maybe a planet similar in composition to Cybertron." So then the Hotshot turns around and sees someone in the woods. It's like, "Oh, hey, is that Optimus Prime? Hey, Optimus, what's up?"
What if, now, listen, I know this is Nemesis Prime. I got it. But, question for you. What if Motormaster was real and wild animal and also my friend?
It's like a feral beast abandoned somewhere.
What if I just kept Motormaster as a pet?
So, now...
What if I domesticated the Stunticons?
Nah, I think that's what that one animated BotCon comic is about. No, that's about them doing a heist. Never mind.
Yeah, what if I domesticated the Stunticons?
Seems hard. They're sure of some fucking rowdy boys on that team. Yeah. And then there's one very emo guy, but you know. So let's talk about Nemesis.
Vortex?
No, Dead End.
Oh, Dead End,
He's not emo so much as nihilistic. If I remember correctly, his function on his like info sheet in G1 was terrorist. So, you know.
Yeah. No, I mean Dead End lives up to his name.
Yeah.
Like nihilism, I would agree that nihilism is more his steez.
So let's talk a little bit about Nemesis Prime, who is the sort of the main subject of this episode. The concept of what if Optimus but evil is, of course, basically as old as the Transformers franchise itself. There were a couple of episodes of like evil Optimus clones in G1. One of them was built by...
How are you gonna make him... Now, how are you gonna make Optimus evil? What are you gonna do? Make him a cop? Oh, wait.
Hey, at least he fucking turned in his badge and became like an outlaw. That's all right. So
Sorry, continue.
there's an episode where like Megatron builds like an Optimus Prime clone he controls to try and fool people.
It's Motor Master.
There's the episode. So there's the episode where like that. There's the Quintesson evil Optimus from the third season, and then the classic one, the sort of classic foil in G1-2 Optimus is Motor Master, leader of the Stunticons, another truck. And that's I guess that's kind of the source of like the black repainted Optimus, but part Nemesis Prime as a name is something that will continue to pop up, and usually it's the same thing. It is like evil clone of Optimus in some way or another. The kind of archetypal version of this is from
it's Shattered Glass for pussies.
It's like it's sort of an isolated Shattered Glass. The archetypal version of this is Scourge from the 2001 Robots in Disguise.
Yeah, okay.
Who has this exact same color scheme. Black, teal, and like red and gray. Who was and
you can find him in a new movie.
Yes,
he's going to be in a new movie.
Yes, there was and he calls himself Nemesis Prime in the 5th movie. There's a Nemesis Prime in Transformers Prime. Technically, there's a Nemesis Prime in IDW, but that is like a separate guy entirely. That whole situation's weird, but this is one of the most interesting variations on it because he is technically a separate guy. He's not like a drone piloted by something else, like in Prime, or like an eldritch sort of entity like in IDW. Instead, he's just like a fucked up nightmare gorilla that Sideways is kind of piloting around or like puppeting.
This entire episode is Doubleface going, "Look, I made a Cybertronian," and Unicron being like, "You fucked up a perfectly good truck is what you did. Look at it. It has anxiety."
I don't know if Nemesis Prime is anxious so much as just really mad all the time.
That's true.
I do love...
Look at it. It has rage issues.
Yeah, I love this episode because, like, there is absolutely no fucking explanation for this shit other than Sideways did it. Like, they just teleport onto this planet, and there's an evil Optimus Prime who immediately just tackles Hotshot to the ground and starts beating the shit out of him. Like, he doesn't fuck around. It's
Listen, Doubleface is good at his job.
Sometimes, yeah, when he's not like... Actually, no, he is very good at his job. I can't think of a time...
No, always. Doubleface has been like fairly consistently good at his job.
Yeah, he is the master manipulator here. They get into a firefight, Red Alert and Hotshot, with this fake Prime that causes an explosion, which of course draws the attention of the Decepticons. So they get drawn into this chase. Nemesis Prime can, of course, also transform. I have a question. Does Nemesis Prime say words at all in the sub?
No, he's just like animalistically grunting.
He's that most of the time, but sometimes he will say like, "I am Nemesis Prime" or something. He says transform at some point. Presumably he only says that so he can remember to buy his toy.
They essentially gave him the personality of Sub Shockwave.
Yes. So, speaking of, Tidal Wave is technically here, attached to Megatron. That is most of his appearances from now on, I think, is as Megatron's fucking super
Oh no,
armor.
I will miss his lively conversation.
But what about his luscious lips? Don't you remember those?
I always Galvatron.
Or
sorry, I always have Overlord if I really need those.
That's true. So, like...
Have I ever told you my Nick Roche Overlord story?
No, I don't think you have.
I can do it now, or we can save it for after the podcast.
Let's save it for after we're done with the episodes here. Because honestly,
sure.
One thing I really like is like the OST in this episode for like just shots of the planet is honestly kind of spooky. It's very bare. There's nothing around. The Decepticons
is a desert.
The Decepticons get into this like formation chasing down the Autobots. And at first, Megatron, who's sort of behind Nemesis Prime once they corner the Autobots here, is like, ah, my old foe, Optimus Prime, you look a little different. And Nemesis Prime just sort of whirls around and backhands him in the face.
Yeah, so it's a little different in the sub. Like, basically, they arrive and Megatron's like, hell yeah, you're beating their asses. He, like, sees Hot Rod and Ratchet, and he's like, fuck yes, I love this guy. I have no idea who he is, but he's beating their asses. And he's like, I love this, do more of this. And Nemesis Prime looks at him and backs at him there. And Megatron's like, what? No!
Oh, shit, I thought you were an ally. Yeah, so when something to point out, when I say that he moves like a gorilla, I mean literally. He is literally like a beast.
Is that a gorilla? He has a sword! Blam, blam!
But first, he uses a fucking extendo arm to choke Megatron.
Okay, yeah, this was the point where I was like, podcaster who has only seen G Gundam voice, getting a lot of G Gundam vibes from this.
So, Nemesis...
This is, not to get too far into this, but also in general, like, if you haven't watched G Gundam's a great companion to, like, this part of Armada, basically. Literally, Unicron is the Devil Gundam, and Double Face is Kyoji. And all the things that they do create, like, more terrible Devil Gundams.
Yep.
Infected things that, like, cannot die and constantly regenerate and morph their robot bodies in terrible, horrible ways the way the Devil Gundam does in G Gundam. So, it is, like, very interesting parallels for me as someone who is podcasted about both series.
So, Starscream chops Nemesis Prime's arm off to free Megatron. And then instantly, Nemesis Prime turns around and starts beating the shit out of him. And Megatron is like, alright, fuck this shit. I'm tired of this. He pulls out the Requiem Blaster. At this point, Nemesis Prime is like fighting Hotshot and Red Alert. And he's just like, well, it doesn't really matter. Whoever I hit, I win, basically. And Starscream doesn't look too happy about what's about to happen, but it's not like he can do anything because, yeah, he fires a shot and Nemesis Prime explodes all over the place, and also a gigantic fireball engulfs everyone.
I mean, Starscream is still in his, like, never-ending crisis of conscience, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Since he abandoned it, and, like, he can't do anything about Nemesis Prime, but he's like, maybe I can, like, make the Autobots not die?
So, doing bad on that front, not only has Nemesis Prime exploded, the Autobots themselves look way worse for wear. Hotshot cannot walk, due to the combination of, like, Nemesis Prime beating the shit out of everyone, and also getting hit by a Requiem Blaster AoE. Also, the Axelon loses Red Alert's signal, so that's not good. And we kind of just see the Decepticons, or specifically Demolisher, like rooting around in the pile of junk that was once Nemesis Prime, getting freaked out when he picks up a piece that still wiggles. Like, ugh, gross.
It's the Double Gundam. I'm serious.
And Megatron's like, well, good thing I have the most powerful gun in the world. All right, time to execute these two guys. And Starscream's like, whoa, hey, whoa, hang on. Now, hear me out. You could just kill them both right now with basically no consequences. Megatron says, yes, that sounds good. He says, we could take them as hostages, though. And Megatron sits there and thinks about it for a minute. And he's like, but I kind of want to shoot them now, but they might be useful back on Cybertron. He sort of points the gun up and down several times. He's like, all right, fine, take them as hostages. Whatever. Doesn't really matter.
And Starscream very suddenly goes, yes!
Yeah, it's like, whew. Ugh. It's fucking unclenches his butthole and walks over to Hotshot. Who only has kind words for Starscream, as he calls him a filthy deserter. And Starscream just, he starts saying, look, I'm a Decepticon. I had to be true to my calling. I don't know what you want from me.
Yeah, Hot Rod, in the sub, Hot Rod's like, how dare you betray us and all of this? Like, you're the reason we're in this situation. And Starscream's like, don't blame me for this. This is your fault. This one is on you.
I didn't throw you into a weird space hole. But before they can get on to any constructive conversation, Megatron off-screen goes, oh, uh-oh, uh-oh, yeah, it's back. Things back, growing out of the ground, made a weird static. Where have we seen that before, I wonder?
Yeah, it turns into mana from the gods, which turns into any robot you want it to be.
And then he pulls out the fucking evil Starsaber. He's like, neat swords. I have one now. Check this out.
Is that a gorilla? It has a Starsaber. Blam blam.
Technically, I guess this is the only kind of appearance of the Darksaber in this, but it's not really the Darksaber. Because the Darksaber is specifically like evil brainwashed versions of the Starsaber team that are purple. This is just like weird Unicron sword. Regardless,
this is just Double Face having a laugh, mate.
He goes what I can only describe as chimp mode on Megatron here, and just starts sort of tearing him apart. He tears off his fusion cannon, and then you see him go for the face.
Yeah, this is literally the chimpanzee that ripped that woman's face off.
Luckily, Demolisher shoots him in the back to draw the aggro, but he encounters a problem, which is that now Nemesis Prime knows he's there. And he doesn't like that. Starscream also gets dismantled very quickly after this, so he's...
I mean, mostly he gets a wing cut off.
Yeah.
But to be fair to Starscream, that's pretty devastating to his ability to A, fight, and B, maneuver.
Yeah, when we see him, when they're being reformatted later, he looks a little bit more fucked up, so I presume he also, got kicked or something. But, This ain't going well. Everybody is fucked up. He cuts Demolisher's missiles off. He's about to go apeshit on Hotshot. But then, back on the Axelon, the Minicons all fly out to space. Before they even reach the planet, the Minicons kind of shoot out towards the planet, right? As Nemesis Prime is about to sort of do some delicatessen work on our pals here.
So, folks, we've had a lot of fun here. We're finally getting to a plot. The series is kind of interesting. But let us not forget that the main goal of any Transformers media is to sell toys.
Oh, yes.
And if this episode doesn't drive that home for you, then nothing else will.
When you have a line of toys, specifically all of the guys, you may notice something about all of the characters here collected on this planet, and it's that they were all Wave 1 figures. These are all some of the earliest characters. The only Wave 1 characters missing from this particular bunch are Cyclonus and Optimus Prime. Weird. And, when you have all these old toys, and it's getting to the kind of late in your toy line, right? You've got your big centerpiece. You got your big Unicron figure. But that's probably fairly expensive to produce. Big toy, lots of engineering. So what do you do to fill out the rest of the toy line?
Listen, it's easy. They've already done G1 did this in the 80s. They know how to fucking... Before Transformers even existed, when Hasbro was making My Little Pony, they figured out how to recolor shit.
Oh, yeah.
That was that. Same old, different colors, baby. Let's go!
But in particular, the Unicron trilogy... loves to do this. It loves to make super modes of the various characters to sell you the same toys with different colors on them. Usually some kind of G1 referential colors. So the Minicons shoot a gigantic laser and completely obliterate Nemesis Prime. All of them all of the collected Minicon partners of all of the guys here are floating in orbs, and
Oh, well, I do want to say the last thing that Nemesis Prime does before being disintegrated while the Microns come here, when he attacks Ironhide has a great line, which is in English, "Oh no!"
Joseph Joestar type beat.
Yeah, really?
So, yeah, he gets obliterated. The Minicons entreat them all to cease the fighting, and then all of them are awashed in holy light and are born again.
I did pog a little bit at True Body Starscream.
Oh, yeah, all of them have brand new colors. Like I said, this is a thing that Unicron Trilogy in particular loves to do, where towards the end, everyone gets new colors. Specifically, in the toy line, it isn't just these guys that got the new colors. Basically almost every character got a Power Links recolor, which is what they were called in the toy line, with the exceptions of Tidal Wave, Sideswipe, Wheeljack, and Scavenger, I think, and Hoist. But that's because a lot of them were like newer figures. Or I don't know, I guess they just don't know make a Power Link Scavenger. But everyone else got brand new recolors. And specifically, these 5 here have a few references. And in the dub, it's very funny. Because what Starscream says upon looking at himself is, he says...
Does he say he looks like Thundercracker?
He literally says, "I look like Thundercracker."
Fuck me, no!
And
is that the only reference we get to Thundercracker?
Yes, and that is because... This is because in Japan... These toys were just treated as the super modes of these characters. The super mode Starscream was not a different guy. It was just Starscream, but he has new colors. In America, Thundercracker was treated as his own figure, because that is normally how these things work. You have your 3 Seekers. There was also a Skywarp, but he had a different head. So, he was distinguishably different. But... because Thundercracker was technically a different guy, they added this line in the dub in to sort of put that in as a reference. He's still Starscream. He doesn't suddenly decide to rename himself like a Megatron does very shortly. But he does literally say, "I look like Thundercracker."
I'm a little bit going to cry. I love the Elite Trine so much.
Bitch, you look like Thundercracker.
Just the acknowledgement that Thundercracker exists and that Starscream has a relationship with me has me a little bit emotional. I'm not gonna lie.
Don't worry, Skywarp is never mentioned in Armada.
He's not. None of the Seekers are ever mentioned anywhere.
Actually, sorry, funny. Skywarp is one of the characters who perhaps has the least amount of fictional presence as a whole. He's on 1 or 2 panels of the Dreamwave Armada comic, and that's it.
But he's an IDW.
No, Armada Skywarp in particular.
Oh, Armada. Sorry, Armada Skywarp.
Skywarp has, of course, tons and tons of G1
I was about
Skywarp.
to say, what are you talking
G1
about?
Skywarp has loads of appearances, but Armada Skywarp, no, none. And similar to Armada Thundercracker, who is, technically he's on screen right now, but it's still Starscream. Anyway, Megatron says, "I'm Galvatron now."
He does, yeah.
And
except not in the sub at all.
Yeah, so he still calls himself Megatron in the sub.
Yeah,
he's Galvatron in the dub, and this brings me. I get to talk about so many recurring Transformers things in this episode. Galvatron. All right, so oftentimes,
who? My friend Galvatron.
Oftentimes, when Megatron is in peril or dying, he will be reformatted into a new guy, or in this case, get new colors.
New guy just dropped.
And in almost all of those cases, that new form is called Galvatron. Now, almost every incarnation of Galvatron is basically a super mode of Megatron. Not all of them, but most of them. And in specific, in the Unicron trilogy, once again, this will literally happen in every series. That is not a spoiler. He will always become Galvatron. Every single time. This man is addicted to being Galvatron.
Did someone get addicted to being Galvatron?
He always goes back to being Megatron at the beginning of the next series, but then he becomes Galvatron again.
That's really funny. I'm not gonna lie.
So he's Galvatron. Everyone else has their new colors. Now, there are a few references, obviously, among these colors. We've already discussed Thundercracker.
Yeah, Hot Rod is Rodimus.
Yes, he gets the Rodimus colors. Demolisher looks like G1 Ironhide now. I don't know why Red Alert is orange. That's Not what G1 Ratchet.
Ratchet's orange?
He's orange, yeah.
He's like silver.
Wait, hang on. I'm gonna wait. Did they make him orange in the dub?
He's 1 second.
No. Hang on.
1 second.
Got it. Well, okay. His main body is orange. I will get you a picture of the world's most orangest boy here. Look at how orange he is. Just look at how orange he is.
Yeah,
I'm putting it in Soundwave files. There he is.
Yeah.
Look at that.
1 second.
That man's is orange.
I don't know that it's orange in the sub. I don't remember that orange being there. I'll report back to you next time, but I think he's just silver.
That's wild if that's true.
I think he's just... Here, 1 second. I'm going to show you a toy that looks like what he looks like in the sub. Oop.
Because, yeah, for everyone listening, Red Alert's new colors is like... He has gone from the classic, white and blue and red ambulance to, like, a bright orange... kind of rescue V. What the fuck? Oh, I had this one. I think this is like, does he have the blue?
He does have the blue. He has like the blue highlights and whatever, but like I would say that orange was not the color. Yeah. Oh, you mean the blue on his chest?
Or like,
I don't remember.
No, just like I'm looking at this toy, but I'm talking about the blue on his like truck parts. Because I actually had this toy. This was like a Walmart exclusive.
The stuff like on the stuff attached to his legs. Yeah. He had that. It was just like, but I would not call this orange.
That's wild, because this, I remember having this toy. This was like a Walmart exclusive. I don't know if it was an import of a deca from Japan, but this was sold as Prowl, I believe. When it was like...
Did they literally color this entire character? I can't believe that. Maybe I'm
you're gonna have to rewatch it and report back.
I'm gonna have to report back to you on that one, but I do not remember orange being a significant color.
Maybe they realized it looks fucking ugly, so they changed it. I don't like Power Link's Ratchet at all. Like
for Ratchet, for Ratchet,
for Red Alert,
he just looks very, very silver to me.
That is just no good. But everyone's getting reformatted. The Axelon finally arrives, and Optimus is getting ready to gear up. He says, "Alright, I have a new thing I can use. There's a new toy on shelves, and... Oh, okay. Alright. So
Optimus, in the sub, he doesn't say anything. He's like, I'm going down to help. Launch me. And he gets launched, and there's him, and his trailer, and this fucking red thing behind him.
Alright. Now... This object, we will call it an object, even though it is technically a character.
It's a micron.
Technically.
It's technically a micron. It's a micron that has no personality ever.
It is like a weapons platform. This is a character, and he is treated as such in the comics and in the, like, toy materials. Do they call out the name of this weapons platform in the sub?
Oh, yes, they do. I
believe it might be the same as in the dub. So what is the name of
Please go. Please go. Okay. Please.
Well, his brand new weapons platform is called Overload.
It's not Overload. It's funnier than that.
Oh.
Actually. I mean, I think Overload's funny because it means orgasm.
That's what I was thinking.
Right. It's Ultra Magnus.
Oh my god.
It's fucking Ultra Magnus. And I'm going to have to listen to him calling Ultra Magnus every single time he power links with this for the rest of the series.
So Ultra Magnus, Optimus' most loyal soldier, his brother in so many continuities, his best friend, is just a pair of guns he can wear.
He's just arms.
He's just arms.
He's just arms.
That
Listen,
sucks.
it's just the Ultra Magnus armor. It's not Minimus Ambus. It's just the Ultra Magnus armor.
I also love that Overload appears literally out of nowhere in this episode. There's no...
Literally out of nowhere. Yeah, literally. So... again, I couldn't tell based on your description, but in the sub, Optimus does not say anything. He just launches with him and his trailer and this red thing behind it. He doesn't name it, he doesn't say anything. He arrives on the ground, and then he says, Ultra Magnus, Power Link, and I was like, Tiffany Pollard voice. Ultra Magnus? Ultra Magnus? Ultra Magnus?
Yeah, he says launch the Overload weapons platform, which isn't much more like... It isn't any less startling when you say, wait, what? Bro, what are you talking about? Now, there is backfilled origin for this fucking thing. The cum guns, as they are in the dub. So apparently, I don't know where this comes from. I assume it's from some Collectors Club comic or whatever, where they just went around and fixed continuity errors for fun. This was created at the same time Optimus was being reborn from the Matrix by the Minicons. The Minicons also made him new guns. That's it. And once again, Overload is his own character in the Dreamwave comics and then the toy line and other stuff.
I also do want to point out that new Optimus is shaped like a Dorito.
Yes, he is.
He's a perfect triangle.
So he deploys, he combines with his huge fuck-off guns, and he says, Megatron, what's going on? And Megatron, we gotta start, I gotta start calling him Galvatron from now on, as he's very suddenly decided. He says, it's Galvatron to you. Very cattily. Oh no, that's in a minute. So he drops down, Galvatron immediately goes into battle mode, and then a gigantic kaiju-sized Nemesis Prime erupts from the ground. And so this is when he combines with Overload, hits him with a big blast, and then he turns to Galvatron and says, hey Megatron, can you shoot the thing with the Requiem Blaster? And this is when he says, it's Galvatron to you. As if Optimus had literally any way of knowing that. You decided that literally 10 minutes ago. Actually, less.
Listen,
you decided it 3 minutes ago.
Just because you don't like a person doesn't mean you can detonate them.
I actually go by Galvatron these days. So they kill Nemesis Prime with the combined might of the Requiem Blaster and and the cum cannons. And after he disintegrates,
are you just going to call Overload the cum cannons?
Yeah,
because
because of the deep lore about the euphemisms. Yes.
Oh, good.
So
I'm glad I've contributed to this podcast in positive ways.
And so after they blast him away, it's very funny because it reveals a hologram of Sideways, who basically does the cartoon thing of you cover up your junk while your clothes get blasted away, and then he dissipates. He just goes ah!
Yeah, you hear a as he runs away.
Yeah, he disappears into a puff of smoke, and I think it's Hotshot who goes, hey, was that Sideways? Before they can think too hard about that though, and before Galvatron can be all right, time to kill the rest of y'all, the planet starts exploding for some reason. As
it is wont to do.
Yeah, I guess I don't really know why. Nemesis Prime was holding this place together, apparently. So they all get away. Well, specifically, the Hydra Cannon begins coming into range. But the Axelon also comes down, and Galvatron's hang on. Now, before we get to the ship, I have a funny idea. And my funny idea is this. What if I shot the ship? And so he does. He just in one of the biggest fuck yous imaginable. He just blows up the Axelon's warp drive and then leaves. Bye.
I'm kind of obsessed with him. Also, I should say that of all the recolors, I think his is the best.
Oh yeah, he looks sick.
He looks fresh to death. The combination of gold and plum. He's a redder purple now than he used to be.
And he's got a lot of his body, his tank, sort of the tank shell is this very pale gray that goes really well with it.
I would say that the biggest difference, and I think it's an interesting choice for Megatron specifically, is that they've really, with his recolor here, leaned into a warmer color palette. So instead of these cool colors of the purple and green, it's gold and burgundy.
Yeah.
Which really solidify the concept of royalty. They look like really royal colors.
He's very regal looking.
Yeah, he's really regal looking, and it's also I don't know. It just like it works like really well. They work really well together. I love his new colors.
Yeah, I think Demolishers look fine. Like it's whatever. The
Hot Rod looks good.
The Demolishers yellow eyes look weird. I think I think Hotshot's vehicle mode looks great. The sort of arrangement of the Rodimus colors on his robot mode is a little weird. I don't like the yellow torso that much.
I'm okay with that.
But he's alright. I've already said that I think Red Alert is ugly as fuck. Starscream is, of course, literally just Thundercracker.
Literally just Thundercracker or True Body Starscream.
He's got a bright red face now, which is kind of funny. He looks like he got fucking hit in the face with a tomato. So, yeah, that's where the episode ends. The Decepticons leave, and they have crippled the Axelon, ensuring that they will get to Cybertron before them, which leads us handily into the next episode, which in the dub is Uprising.
In the sub, it is Return to Cybertron.
Much more descriptive, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I think generally speaking, the subtitles are much more literal. I think the dub titles are constrained by their one-word requirements.
Yeah, which I do think is I like them aesthetically, but I would have maybe called this one
agreed.
Return or something. Anyway, we open on Galvatron.
Or just Cybertron.
Yeah, or Cybertron. Galvatron has gathered the entire Decepticon fleet and is just wrecking shop. This sequence fucks so hard, where he rolls up, he's got the shield in one hand, the Starsaber in the other, surrounded on all sides by the Decepticon fleet, and he just starts doing melee combat on capital ships and winning because it's the Starsaber.
The thing about it is he does win.
He does win a sword fight against a spaceship, but then he's like, hey, Thrust, toss me the gun. I'm going to shoot these dudes out of the sky.
I was kind of surprised by the number of troops that were still on Cybertron, given that the leaders of both armies were not there.
Yeah, I guess it's like after the Minicons left, they basically entered a state of Cold War, I think, where there are no territorial gains or losses. They're just sitting there looking at each other, basically.
Oh, for sure. It's just like, it was shocking to me the number of people.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, do you know that episode of Star Trek where they fight a war? Where they basically get to a planet that's fighting a civil war, but
I will say
I
have never seen the only Trek I've seen is unfortunately the first two J.J. Abrams movies.
Okay, the first one's not bad.
The first one's
second
pretty
one's
good.
miserable.
No.
You should watch Beyond.
I've heard really good things about Beyond.
Beyond rearranged my brain chemistry.
I think Into Darkness is very funny.
Yeah, well, that's a nice way of looking at Into Darkness.
It gave us Benedict Cumberbatch's bone crunching noises face, which is very good.
Bumper. Yeah. So there's an episode of TOS where they go to this planet that's been waging the Civil War, but they've decided that the Civil War is inefficient. So instead, they leave the war basically in the hands of computers. And every day, the computers tell each side what their losses are, and they select the correct number of people and send them basically to gas chambers to kill them, rather than fighting the war. So that's like kind of what I'm imagining here.
Yeah, I wonder if we hear snippets of like other fronts across the galaxy. Presumably, there are a lot of different small teams like the ones Optimus and Megatron have that are like looking for Minicrons or Minicons across.
Devastator talked about the 3 planets where he'd been.
Yeah. So what I presume happened is that like Megatron recalled the Decepticon forces to Cybertron and said, "Hey, I'm back. I've got all the Minicon weapons and I'm ready to party." And he does party. He wipes the floor with this initial like Autobot fleet. Just absolutely wreck shop.
My head is on. My horns are on backwards.
And Starscream and Thrust are watching all of this, and Thrust is positively giddy. He is loving it so much. And Starscream is, of course, very suspicious of this. And
now what Starscream doesn't realize is that Thrust has been Unicron pilled.
Oh, he is extremely Unicron pilled. He's like, don't look, Starscream, simply sit back and let Galvatron do all the hard work.
Which I have to say, I'm not sure when that happened. Like, I know he's been in contact with Doubleface, but I'm not sure when he actually was like, oh, Unicron is real and my lord and savior.
I do wish we saw that. I think there would have been space in the Nemesis Prime episode for that. I wish there was like one extra space travel episode where we saw that. Yeah, because suddenly he is like full Unicron minion. He looks very he looks towards the moon of Cybertron. Very importantly, like, oh, don't worry, Starscream. Once my plan comes to fruition, it'll be great. Just trust me. And Starscream just like,
Starscream's like, rivalry ended with Megatron. Now Thrust is my new worst enemy.
I probably should deal with this freak at some point. So, yeah, we cut over to the Axelon. They're like trying to fix the warp drive. They're scrambling. This is where Fred makes a joke about if they can fix the kitchen or not. I didn't know this place had a kitchen. I guess they had to have food on there somewhere. But wait,
all the food they have is literally just what Jim brought.
Yeah, I was about to say they wouldn't have built a kitchen because they weren't expecting to bring the kids.
Once again, Jim Goat.
He is. He's the other one who's prepared. He also brought the Game Boy.
I think you mean this Nintendo's Name Boy.
This Nintendo's Name Boy. And on the bridge, all the Autobots are talking strategy. Optimus is like, okay. Actually, Blur says, so it is most likely that all of the fighting is going to be centered in Cybertron's northern hemisphere. That's our territory. That's where the invasion is going to be pushing. And Optimus says, great. We're going to go slightly to the right to give them a surprise flanking attack. We don't want to go right into the thick of it. That's a bad idea. We're just going to get blown up.
Wait, to undermine your underlings?
It's like, listen, I'm going to... my time in the Transformers Afterlife made me a realist. You are all going to get blown up if we go right into the battle. Instead, we're gonna divide and conquer. So they get into they fix the warp drive. They get into Cybertron's orbit, and instantly the straight action team goes absolutely apeshit. They go crazy. They start running towards the airlock.
Yes, yeah. They're not happy, and Carlos is like, "No, come back!" And Rad's like, "No, you gotta let them go." And Carlos is like, "Fuck you, Rad."
So Rad's like, "All right, listen, Carlos. I understand that you're worried about them. This is their war. We gotta let them do what they want to do."
Rad says something here, which I think is responsible for what follows, where Rad says, "If I were them, and it was possible, I would also be out there fighting." And Carlos is like, "If it was possible to be out there fighting, you say?"
Yep. So then it cuts to Carlos jumping out the airlock in the spacesuit, trying to go grab the straight action team.
He's not even attached to anything tethered. This time.
He is not tethered. And then Rad runs to the bridge, is like, "Hey, the Minicons are freaking out. They flood the airlock, and also Carlos is out there." And Optimus is just like, "Oh, fuck. Okay, Jetfire, come here. We gotta go." So as soon as they warped in, there is another big space hole behind them. Big, evil, scary space hole.
And from it appears Doubleface.
Oh, this is so good. So yeah, Optimus kind of...
And Doubleface says, "It's me, boy, the PS5, speaking to you inside your brain." Optimus flies out to say, sort of, get between the Minicons and the black holes, like, whoa, hey guys, what is happening? And then I believe the straight action team are talking about Unicron again. That's when Doubleface appears and goes, "You dumb fucking Minicons, spoiling all my surprises. Ugh, I fucking hate you guys, shitty little assholes. Your free will is an illusion."
He's like, "Listen, this tiny setback doesn't matter. You're all doomed, alright?" And then the big giant ghost of Sideways fades away again. And it's back to dealing with
kind of a bitch move if you think about it.
Oh yeah. Listen, he's not gonna get involved directly when he can just sort of taunt people in his phantasmal form.
I mean, fair. If I could also taunt people in my phantasmal form, I probably wouldn't get directly involved in any conflicts either.
So Galvatron sees the Axelon warp in and all the activity going on up there and goes and says, "Ooh, goody." Men, let's go. So the everyone comes back into the ship. They sort of reconvene, and the Street Action team they say, they actually what happens first is that Rat asks Highwire if like the presence he sensed was Unicron, and Highwire doesn't answer in the Queen's English. He just beeps and boops, but it's definitely Unicron.
Oh, he answers in the Queen's English in the sub.
That's so weird. I wonder if So the Autobots all decide they're going to split up,
and all the other ones, RC and oh shit, what's the other one? What's Grinder's name in the sub?
It's something really funny.
It's one syllable.
Yeah, like so many Minicons are.
It's not Bolt, but it's something similar to that.
It's like it's not just skate, is it?
No, it's not skate. 1 second.
Skate or die, dude.
This is gonna bother me if I don't.
Yeah, Grinder also speaks. Sure Shock does not, for whatever reason. I don't know.
Yeah, RC said, "You don't deserve my voice."
So, but they're all talking about stuff. Did you find Grinder's Japanese name?
Bank.
Right, Bank. The Autobots all split up into search party pairs to kind of scour the planet.
Well, okay, so I mean, here's the thing. So Wheelie and Bank are like, we're gonna go out. We're gonna go out and fight, and it's sort of the same thing as before, where it's Rad's like, if we could. Rad's basically like, let them go and do what they want, and Carlos is like, no, it's super dangerous for them. What the fuck are you talking about? And Alexa's like, no, let them do what they want. And listen, when Carlos is the responsible one, things are fucked.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they're pretty good at this stuff.
Yeah, but still.
I mean, you gotta trust the Minicon magic. It brought Optimus back to life.
Do you?
It has performed literal miracles.
Yeah, can't argue with the facts.
So we get a little bit of a montage of all of the Autobots. So it's like Optimus and Jetfire, Blur and Hotshot, and Scavenger and Hoist all go planet side to look for survivors, while Sideswipe and Red Alert stay in the ship. And there's just a little montage of everyone looking for survivors and like calling out to see if anyone's there. There's nothing but rubble and scrap as far as the eye can see. Cybertron looks fucked up right now. Just like war-torn spires and big old sharp towers of molten metal. Doesn't look good. Who knows if this is a recent development due to Galvatron's activities, or if it looked like this for a while. I don't know. Regardless, Galvatron finds Optimus and Jetfire and just starts blasting them. It's like, all right, time to go, boys. He also has a bunch of ships with him, too. So, there's not really a lot they can do. They are pinned. Everyone is pinned down. And we cut back up to the fucking dipshit boys, Thrust and Starscream, watching from above. And Thrust is just like, isn't this the perfect place to watch the carnage unfold, Starscream? And he answers with, even the sound of your voice makes me sick, Thrust.
I think it's really funny that Thrust is like, I get to choose one person to come with me into, like, Unicron's utopia. And I'm going to choose Starscream, who's made his dislike of me very clear.
I find you utterly repulsive. And Thrust is like, oh, you don't mean that.
Literally the two of them are like, you should be addicted to shutting the fuck up. You want to fuck me so bad it makes you look stupid.
So, he is, like, Thrust is still going on about how, like, let Galvatron hog all the glory he wants. We just need to sit back and wait for our moment. Just trust in the plan, Starscream. And Starscream is increasingly not trusting in the plan. Because
Starscream's also like, what fucking plan, dude?
Yeah, hey, you want to tell me?
Gonna clue me in, homie?
You want to tell me about your plan, Thrust? I'd like to know what the plan is. And you're like, it's fine. It's fine. So, Optimus is pinned down. He calls for overload. And Red Alert is, or Sideswipe is like, that's gonna, if we deploy him to your location, that'll leave the Axelon, basically defenseless. And Red Alert just walks in and is like, Do it. Follow the orders, bro.
Yeah.
So we get the classic cum cannon super mode, just blowing up Decepticon ships all over the place.
Mm-hmm,
He sends Jetfire away because he has a new toy now. He doesn't need Jetfire anymore, pretty much, unless he wants to fly around. So he starts blasting. We cut around. Everyone else is also kicking ass. Hotshot and Blur are fighting a bunch of guys, and Hotshot does a kung fu move on a dude and says, "Watching all those kung fu movies paid off, huh, Blur?" And he answers with, "Who says TV rots your brain?"
At some point, the entire planet starts getting pretty fucked.
Oh yeah, it starts getting sucked by the black hole. Not before.
Yeah.
I did want to mention Hoist literally spearing a whole tank, who's presumably a man. He spears an entire tank on his huge steam shovel arm, so that dude is dead as shit.
Yeah. So at some point, the planet starts getting, just genuinely fucked. And at this point, actually, Megatron makes a pretty compelling metaphor for climate denial.
Yes.
Where he's watching the entire planet basically this start to disintegrate before him, and he's like, "No, it's good."
Yeah, he's Optimus. Galvatron goes obviously to swing the Starsaber. Optimus catches his hand and is like, "Hey, asshole, how about you look around us? Do you see the big evil space hole that is currently trying to eat the planet?" And Galvatron kind of looks up at it, looks around at all the pieces of gigantic rubble flying through the air and says, "This is probably just a fucking Autobot ploy. You're just trying to trick me. I mean, listen, Optimus, I'm very impressed with the amount of trouble you're going through to trick me, but I'm not going to fall for it." Optimus is just like, "You dumb motherfucker."
"Tina, you ignorant slut."
Literally, he basically says, "Well, I don't know what it's going to take to that thick skull plate of yours, Megatron." Excuse me, Galvatron. And
yeah, really, pretty rude of you.
He's the big evil suckhole destroys Megatron's entire fleet. Excuse me, Galvatron's entire fleet. And he's
you're really struggling with this.
It's hard. It was literally the last 10 minutes of the last episode. He's like, "Hey, what's up? I'm Galvatron now." And he turns to Optimus and is like, "Yeah, Autobot ploy. Unicron ain't real, bitch." But this shit's still going bad. Thrust is alright, so this is where we cut up, and Thrust is just cackling like a madman and rambling to himself about Unicron and Starscream, just watching this
Starscream literally makes the Tails gets trolled voice.
Yeah, he's
face.
He's like, "Oh, this guy's nuts. He's fucking on one."
Starscream's like, "I gotta leave right now immediately."
I gotta go. Yeah, you have fun up here, Thrust. I'm gonna get as far away from you as physically possible. Then
back on the battlefield, the Microns have had enough.
Minicon time. So they have all collected into a big green orb, floating in
which one's against bodies.
Yes, sort of floating in front of the black hole, and they start, pelting the big hole with big ol' energy streams and whatnot.
And meanwhile, they look down at everyone on the planet, and they're like, "Stop fucking fighting."
They're chanting, "Please stop fighting." They're basically holding up a big glowing sign that says "Bigger problems this way." And Galvatron looks up at that and says, "Nice trick, Optimus. Pretty good. I like this new style for you." And Optimus is like, "Oh my fucking god."
Yeah, so the Microns kind of have this thing where they're like, "We will continue to heal you until you stop killing each other."
Yeah, it's
which is a fun idea in concept, but if anyone has ever played Soma, kind of horrifying.
Oh yeah, it's kind of scary. It's yeah, you can keep fighting if you want. Literally nothing will be accomplished.
We will continue to heal you and bring you back to life. And the idea of being perpetually kept alive and suffering is just pretty horrific.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying.
I'm not sure the Microns thought that one through 100%, but they said literally stop fighting or we're just going to keep doing this over and over again.
So they managed to sort of repel the black hole with, minicon energy. Thrust is mad about it, and Starscream is like still back there and looking confused as fuck. Like, why are you talking about Unicron? What is happening here? He's doing like the fucking math lady gif as he watches Thrust like mumble to himself about this shit. So yeah, and Sideways is the most displeased person here, because he like you hear him in voiceover like, I'm gonna fucking get all these stupid fucking minicons. I'm tired of them meddling in my master's shit. Tired of this shit. God damn.
It's so funny. Thrust is like, I'm smart enough not to I'm just looking at like Twitter today, which had like, how likely are you to fall for a cult thing? And Thrust is like, I'm smart enough to never fall for a cult. Gets immediately Unicron pilled.
Oh, absolutely. He is like number one mark. We've discussed how Sideways picked the perfect guy for this shit. So the Street Action team is back on the Axle, and everyone's real happy, but they have a sort of ominous message to deliver to everyone. It's like, Unicron is evil. Unicron will destroy space. All of it.
Will destroy the universe.
Just the whole thing. He's gonna do it unless you stop him. And the final thing is, we go to Decepticon Command, where Galvatron is like, this is fucking Unicron bullshit. Pfft, whatever. Optimus can try to trick me all he wants. I'm still gonna get him. And literally everyone is like, yeah, maybe we should like look into that. But Thrust is like, no, you're right, Mega. You were right, Galvatron. There is no such thing as Unicron.
Tell your devil, if he says he's got beef, that I'm a vegetarian and I ain't fucking scared of him.
and Thrust is like thinking to himself, like, this is perfect. He's dumb as fuck. He doesn't believe anything is going on. Like, no setbacks. It's fine. I can still pull this off, and it will end very well for me, as I've been promised. I've been a good boy, so Unicron will reward me justly.
Please, Santa.
So that's where we end, with everyone on Cybertron. Unicron is slowly awakening, and shit's not looking great for anyone other than Sideways. He seems to be having an alright time.
He's having a laugh, mate.
He loves it.
He does love it, yeah.
So you want to tell your Overlord story?
Yeah, sure. It's not like a huge story, but I've met Nick Roche a few times, always at New York Comic Con. It's one of the benefits of living in New York. Mm-hmm. He's a really cool guy. I highly, if you ever have a chance to meet him, I highly recommend it. And he takes commissions when he's at cons. And the first time I met him, I was in Starscream cosplay, and I really, really wanted to meet him, particularly while I was in cosplay. It was great. So I walked up to him, and he was working on a commission at the time, and he was working on an Overlord commission. And he had drawn Overlord's body, but he was like the face was like blank when I got to him. And I made a comment offhand, because before I could stop myself, I was like, where are his lips? And Nick looked me straight in the eyes, and he said, I saved them for dessert.
Oh, excellent. Nick Roche seems like a cool fucking guy.
He's a really nice guy. I really like Nick Roche.
Everyone go read Last Stand of the Wreckers and all of More Than Meets the Eye, but especially the stuff he drew for the early bits.
I saved them for dessert. That is never going to leave my head.
Great. I mean, I know he had a lot of fun drawing that Overlord Rampage issue, I bet. He just fucking everybody up. So, we've got some questions over here on the Discord, which you, of course, can join by clicking the link in our Twitter bio.
Or in the description of every episode.
Or in the description. It's in the description of every single episode, just that one glowing link right there. First, from Casey Cosmotector, what minor differences allow your allies to shoot the correct doppelganger and not you? Like, it would have to be minor. Obviously, you could ask me and my doppelganger, what's the best route in Three Houses? And if anyone doesn't say Black Eagles, you shoot that one.
But I feel like our doppelganger. Here's the thing. I feel like a doppelganger would know all the things I like.
Yeah, you have to get really granular. You'd have to get like
things that like really no one ever.
Ooh.
Like that's right.
Yeah. Like you have to really get them on like the real niche stuff that only you and maybe like 2 other people know.
Yeah. For me, it would be like asking, "Ooh, what's your favorite thing you've ever eaten?" or whatever, and them being like, "I just love mac and cheese," which is true, and that is my usual answer to what is your favorite food, but it's not my favorite food I've ever eaten. Crocodile is.
Ooh, I do like crocodile is pretty good. It's just like, it is cliche to say tastes like chicken, but it kind of does.
So here's the thing: crocodile tastes different than alligator does.
Oh, see, I got you. That's right. I've had alligator. I've never had crocodile.
So I've had alligator, but I've also had crocodile. I've only had crocodile once, and it was when I was in Zimbabwe. But alligator is great. It is, like, I love it fried. It is not my favorite thing. Crocodile is unreal. I've never had anything like crocodile. It literally melted in my mouth. I have no idea how they did that. It's fucking delicious.
It's so fascinating that 2 things that basically look exactly the same can taste so different.
Yeah, I think it's might be like the difference between like veal and beef.
Yeah.
Right? Like veal is so much more tender than like most steaks are because it's young. Anyway, that would probably be my thing.
What is my secret doppelganger thing? Ooh. It might be food related, but like all of I usually leave a lot of my foods. Ooh. Maybe the best frozen margarita I've ever had, which is at a place over here called Rio Mambo, where it was like a lot of frozen margaritas you get at restaurants are just sugar. You can't taste anything other than like whatever fucking fruit juice you've dumped into that shit. Their margaritas are so they're no like frills or anything. You've got the lime, you've got the triple sec or Cointreau. I don't know what they use, and you can actually fucking taste the tequila.
My guess is it's Cointreau. That's really that good.
It actually tastes like a margarita, and not just like a fucking slushy from Sonic or whatever. Like you can actually taste the fucking alcohol in it, and they were really good. When I went there, I drove there, so I couldn't have any. I only have a sip or 2. But I'm going to go back. I'm going to have like 3. And I'm going to regret it. But it's going to be delicious. Anyway, that's my answer. Because my doppelganger might say some other bullshit, but I know the truth. I know the truth. Cassarachnia asks, have you considered if you're the evil twin, Sabrina Spellman? I haven't watched that show. Which Decepticons do you think are the evil twins, and what do you think their good versions are like? Thrust is the evil twin. He killed his brother. I don't know what happened to that guy, but you will not find his body. I think Demolisher's the good twin. He's too much of like a toady.
I think Demolisher is the good twin.
His brother is like actually competent.
Yeah. I'm torn on Sandstorm, but I do think Sandstorm's probably the evil twin.
His brother is like a college professor or something.
He just enjoys chaos too much to be good.
Yeah, he's just a sort
regardless of his competency.
Yeah. Starscream's hard to say. I think he is the good twin.
Starscream's absolutely the good twin. No, he's not. That's not complicated for me.
The evil twin is Skywarp because he likes kicking people downstairs.
And just misusing his outlier ability.
That's my favorite TF Wiki running gag is G1 Skywarp loves kicking people downstairs. Very funny.
It's an effective
it's very
strategy. Effective. Skywarp, you can teleport!
He's just going to use it for pranks. Cass also asks...
my favorite line from fanfiction.
Cass also asks, I'm watching a video about the One Piece cookbook, so what would you cook for the Autobots if they showed up in hungry hollow matter avatars? I mean, I feel like, you can't go wrong with something crab like a good stew. I feel like the Autobots would appreciate a good hearty stew.
A nice rare steak, because at least I know it has iron in it.
It's true. I feel like if you made your menu sort of match all of the separate Autobots, I feel like they'd all have slightly different tastes. I feel like Smokescreen / Hoist definitely enjoys some like home style Southern cooking. He gives me that vibe. Something fried and greasy.
I'd probably just make them latkes like I make for all my guests.
Oh, that yeah, it's like just anything that's like nice and pleasing and warm after a long, hard day of civil warring and all that stuff. Fine, yeah, cooked one. Oh, she does specify if you cooked one dish per bot. So I'm gonna go in harder. Making Hotshot Easy Mac because he's an immature little baby. He gets to share with Sideswipe. I'm not. Listen. I'm not making anything for Sideswipe.
I'm gonna make Ratchet an acai bowl.
Yes.
I think he deserves something nice and healthy to start his day.
Scavenger gets like a big fat Reuben sandwich or something, or like a sandwich with a lot of meat and a big old pint of beer. I feel like he'd appreciate that. He seems like the type. And then Blur. Ooh. Because obviously Optimus gets the rare steak. He's the big man after all. But Blur... What does Blur like to eat? What do edgy loners who like...
Fast food.
Just like a burger from McDonald's. I feel like he'd like something...
It's fast.
Yeah. Get it out of the way quick. Doesn't have to talk to anybody. I don't want to talk at the dinner table. Robinus Prime asks some interesting questions here. For once and for all, what is the definitive Megatron alt mode? For hard mode, no tank, because it seems so blasé, pedestrian, and boring for the big tyrant, and not a Walter P-38, because general audiences are never going to accept the big bad shrinking down into a low-tech sized pistol for robots. Counter, that's very funny.
Why the fuck do I care about what general audiences think? P-38 reigns supreme.
It's...
But if it can't be funny small gun, then I don't know. I guess like a mining drill.
See, actually, I was thinking about this today, and I think my answer might be Cybertronian. No, that's good, but it might be Cybertronian Jet. Now, there's a few things about
from
this.
IDW?
From a lot of different things. He's that in IDW. Yeah. He's that in Prime.
Oh yeah, I love his Prime design. Actually, that's
his
a pretty
Prime
good
design's
one.
Great. The Bayverse Megatron was Jets a couple of times. That dude switches bodies constantly, but Jets he came back to like twice, 3 times actually. And I think it's because like Megatron doesn't feel the need to disguise. He feels, that sort of implies that he feels these Earth modes are kind of beneath him. That he is here to conquer, not understand. And so he keeps this Cybertronian jet form as a way to sort of kind of express that. I believe Energon Megatron is also a jet, if I remember correctly. Or like a spaceship. That's what I think. I think Cybertronian jet is very fitting for Megatron, despite not, he's usually not a flyer guy, but normally these days he just defaults to tank. Because that's like the most common Megatron alternate mode, but I think Jet's the good one. Since an evil version of our hero dad is in the picture, time for another question about Shattered Glass. Which Shattered Glass character is your favorite? There's so many good Shattered Glass versions. Like, I do love evil biker Rodimus. I love Sicko Goldbug.
Goldbug's pretty good. Not to be cliche, but I do love Shattered Glass Starscream.
He's just a kind, sweet-hearted nerd.
Yeah.
Loyal as well. I think I like Shattered Glass Grimlock because he's a fancy lad. Hey, what? Basically, any there's so many fun inversions. Shattered Glass Soundwave is also pretty fun, where he's just basically a ninja turtle. I do love the entirety of Decepticon High Command and Shattered Glass is pretty fun. Yeah, isn't Shattered Glass Megatron wasn't he like a mathematician or something before the war?
Yes, he has little tiny glasses.
Fucking nerd ass. Get him. What Shattered Glass characters are great only in the context of their OG counterparts?
Skyfire.
What is Shattered Glass Skyfire even like?
Shattered Glass Skyfire is obsessed with Starscream.
Oh my god.
And he's like all he wants is to turn Starscream over to the Autobots and specifically targets and attacks him, and it's like so funny given his original counterpart.
Shattered Glass Cyclonus is interesting because obviously the original cartoon G1 Cyclonus was like basically Galvatron's best guy, most loyal guy. And in Shattered Glass, he is a spy who nearly assassinates Megatron. Then he gets reformatted into Galvatron, but like Shattered Glass Cyclonus being a sneaky assassin is pretty good. I also, obviously Grimlock is also kind of that, where instead of big dumb bruiser guy, it's smart, sophisticated scientist who just also happens to be like a giant T-Rex. Rodimus is also kind of that. But like, yeah, I think Skyfire is a good answer to that. And finally,
here's the thing: like Skyfire is just a boring character in general.
Oh yeah,
and his the Shattered Glass version is also pretty boring, but in context of his regular version, it's hilarious.
Yes, and finally, Robinus Prime asks, "What are your Shattered Glass counterparts?"
Straight.
Yeah,
binary.
Straight. Loves. Big fan of the GoBots.
Normie core.
Still watches Doctor
The
Who.
Bachelor.
Oh Lord.
Yeah,
that's
watches
scary.
The Bachelor.
Big into. Still watches Doctor Who. Or I guess because man, it's been. I gave up on that show a long time ago.
Does not give a shit about food.
I don't want to meet this person. I want to stop thinking
Just
of this
eats
person.
whatever.
Finally, Horn My Starscream asks the question that I love. It's catnip to me. Which member of the Armada cast corresponds to which card of the Major Arcana? I love making those Major Arcana shit. Okay, so let's see. I'm thinking back. I'm thinking to what each of them mean. Right. I mean, obviously, Sideways is Sideways the devil or is he the Tower? I think he's the Tower because there's no good that can come from him meddling around. Or is he?
I do, yeah.
I
don't know. I am torn because the devil does have like that two-face.
Yeah.
Like part of it, and it has like that bonds thing, like the chains that bind.
Yeah.
Kinda.
I think maybe Sideways is the devil.
I would put him as the devil.
So yeah, I've got a little guide.
All right, let's go in
here.
order. Let's go. Okay.
Right. The Fool. Beginnings, innocence, spontaneity, a free spirit. Reversed is no, I will not take the free challenge of a 5-day tarot reading makeover. I don't even know what that means.
I think the Fool is Carlos.
Reversed, holding back, recklessness, risk taking. You don't think it's rad? I mean, usually the Fool is like kind of the protagonist, the start of everything, because Rad is the one who started this whole business by touching that thing in a cave. Carlos was also there. Maybe it's them. Maybe it's all three of the kids.
I think I would call the magician Rad. I think 0, 1, and 2 are 3 kids, and I think 0 is the Fool is Carlos, the magician is Rad, and the high priestess is Alexa.
Yes, that sounds right. Let's see. The Empress. Femininity, beauty, nature, nurturing, abundance. Reverse it as creative block and dependence on others.
That's also Rad.
Ooh, I mean, we've also got a few mini-cons to work with here. Not many are actually characters, but we've got a couple. This one's tricky. This one...
Oh, it's the news reporter.
Yes. All right. The Emperor. Authority, establishment, structure, a father figure, reversed, domination, excessive control, lack of discipline, and flexibility.
I think this is Optimus.
Yes, Optimus is the Emperor. The Hierophant. The Hierophant.
Hierophant is Scavenger.
Spiritual wisdom. I don't think it's Scavenger because Hierophant is spiritual wisdom, religious beliefs, conformity, tradition, institutions. Reverse is personal beliefs, freedom, challenging the status quo. Is this Starscream? Thrust. Okay, Thrust is the Hierophant. All right.
Yeah.
The Lovers.
The Lovers are the street action team.
Yes. There we go. Yeah, love, harmony, relationships, values, alignment, choices. The Chariot. Control, willpower, success, action, determination. This is Hotshot. Strength. I think this is Smokescreen. Strength, courage, persuasion, influence, compassion.
Yeah, sure. Let's give that to Grab.
The Hermit.
The Hermit. This is Scavenger.
Yes, soul searching, introspection, being alone, guidance. Reversed, isolation, loneliness, withdrawal. Wheel of Fortune.
Actually, or the Hermit... No, the Hermit is Rampage.
Yeah, the Hermit is Wheeljack. Yes. Wheel of Fortune. Good luck, karma, life cycles, destiny, a turning
Sandstorm!
point.
It's Sandstorm!
Because he spins around a lot.
Yeah.
Justice. I think this might be Blur. Justice, fairness, truth, cause and effect, law. Reverse, it is unfairness, lack of accountability, dishonesty.
I think it's Stepper.
Really? Yeah, all right, yeah. The Hanged Man. Starscream, ding, ding, ding.
Yes.
Pause,
Yeah,
surrender, letting go, new perspectives, reverses, delays, resistance, stalling, indecision. Death. Endings, change, transformation, transition.
Unicron.
Reversed, resistance to change, personal transformation, inner purging. Is this Unicron or is this...
I think it's Megatron?
It could be Megatron. It could also be the Blaster. Or Hoist. No, not Hoist. It's Unicron or Megatron. I think it might be Megatron.
Okay, Death is Megatron. Sure.
Temperance.
This is Ratchet.
Yes. The Devil, we already said, that's Sideways. The Tower, that's Unicron.
This I think is the Astro Blaster.
Yes. Yeah. So the Tower, the Star, hope, faith, purpose, renewal, spirituality, reverse, lack of faith, despair, self-trust, disconnection.
I think the Star might be Ironhide.
That's really funny. The Moon. Upright, illusion, fear, anxiety, subconscious, intuition.
I have to change this. The Moon is fucking, is obviously Double Face.
Yes, so who is the devil?
So, no, yeah, who's the devil then?
Shadow self, attachment, addiction, restriction, sexuality. Reversed is releasing limiting beliefs, exploring dark thoughts, detachment. This could be is this the Starsaber?
Sure, why not? Make it the Star Saber.
The Moon is double face. The Sun. Positivity, fun, warmth, success, vitality.
The Sun is Jim. Fight me.
The Sun is Jim. Judgment. I think this is Blur.
Didn't we already assign Silverbolt?
No, I don't think we did.
Yeah, we did. No, we did.
Who was he? Was he Justice?
Yeah.
No, I thought you said that Sideswipe was Justice.
Oh, you're right. No.
I think Blur might be Judgment.
Okay.
The World.
The World is the Cosmotector.
Yes. I think that's true. All right, yeah. There we go.
Something that protects.
We have made our Arcana deck of our Transformers Armada, and that is where we leave you for today.
You can fund us on Kickstarter to get your deck pre-ordered.
Oh man, Transformers Tarot deck. I'd buy that shit. I love looking at cool tarot deck arts and where people put every character. It's like, damn, that's cool. Anyway, we can find us on Twitter at PrimeCutsPod, where, of course, you can join our Discord and various other things. We post questions every week when we record, keep track of everything there. And, of course, we are part of the network, Noisespace.xyz. All sorts of various shows can be found there, such as Wow Cool Robot, Pod of Greed, both of which you have been on in the past. But also...
one of which I'm on currently.
That's true. Currently and the past and in the future. Barring some sort of horrible card game related accident. Which are not uncommon in Yu-Gi-Oh! Try not to be sent to dual hell sometime in the next few weeks. You can also listen to Zero to Zero.
I'll do my best.
Kyle XY. Which is currently about the worst fanfiction I've ever heard of. Just truly a wretched piece of storytelling. And anything else you could put your ears to. Like, we got Digimon Ghost Gaze. We got Not Roy's Nightmare and Error. Just all sorts of stuff you can listen to over on noisespace.xyz. You can find me, why, I'm on Twitter, unfortunately, at Dragon Smoocher. You can find other various things I work on, such as the She-Ra podcast I did with my friend Jane. That is at Podcast of Power, all about the 2018 She-Ra show, the good one, not the terrible one from the 80s. Granted, that one's very funny. We just uploaded the first part of our actual play one-shot with some fine folks over from the Strangers Fiction stable of podcasters. Soon, Radio Free Heideland will start. It is inevitable. It will happen. At Heideland Radio. You can also find me at Disney Minus Pod, talking about the evil corporation's various products. Fuck those guys. I can't talk about what I would like to happen to Bob Chapek without getting immediately arrested by Disney commandos. So instead, I will simply wish him to have a nice time, borrowing from a few family of podcasts that I listen to.
I'm just going to parody him.
Yeah, just like, various things to happen to him in Minecraft, all sorts of stuff.
I'm going to parody him in Minecraft. It's fine.
I hope he has a nice time parodying Minecraft. Nothing actionable there. And that's me.
I'm Audrey. You can find me on Tumblr and Twitter at Optimum on Prime, which is my funny robot internet joke. You can also, as Nero mentioned, listen to the other podcasts I do, Pod of Greedcast. You can find us on Twitter at Pod of Greedcast. It's about Yu-Gi-Oh! Ubella's here. They're my friend. They got an extra titty in the dub. That's funny.
Oh, poor kids. The only time they ever put a titty on someone instead of taking them away.
It's pretty, just theoretically funny. And that's basically it for me. So I guess until next time, I am going to try to block out all the phallic imagery I see, transform and roll out.
I will sit down at the fortune teller's booth. She flips a card up of someone that looks exactly like me being torn to shreds by an animalistic, feral, evil clone of Optimus Prime. I ask, is that good?
Is this good?
And she transforms and rolls out, leaving me with only questions.
Till next time. Peach!
Peach!